Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! Langston stared at his reflection in the small mirror of his apartment bathroom, the dim light casting shadows that made his features look even more uncertain. For months now, he'd been slipping into women's clothing in secret, borrowing pieces from thrift stores or ordering discreetly online. The fabrics felt right against his skin, a soft whisper of something he'd always known but never voiced. But makeup? That was the barrier he couldn't cross alone. His attempts left him looking like a caricature, smudged eyeliner and uneven foundation that only amplified his doubts. He needed help, someone he could trust not to judge. Mia had been his friend since college, a bond forged over late-night study sessions and shared dreams of escaping their small town. She was vibrant, always the one to push boundaries with her fashion choices and unfiltered opinions. When he finally mustered the courage to call her, his voice trembled as he explained his secret explorations. I want to see what it could be like, you know? But I can't get the makeup right. It's frustrating. To his relief, Mia didn't hesitate. Langston, oh my gosh, I'm coming over right now. This is going to be amazing. I've got everything we need. Her enthusiasm was a lifeline, and within the hour, she arrived at his door with a large bag slung over her shoulder, her eyes sparkling with excitement. They settled in his living room, the afternoon sun filtering through the curtains as Mia unpacked her collection. Dresses spilled out in a cascade of colors and styles, each one carefully chosen from her own wardrobe. Okay, let's find something that suits you, she said, holding up options against his frame. They tried a few, but it was the crimson A-line dress with cap sleeves that caught her eye.
This one. The color will complement your skin tone perfectly. Warm and rich, like it was made for you.
Langston slipped into the dress behind the bedroom door, the fabric hugging his body in a way that felt both foreign and familiar. When he emerged, Mia nodded approvingly. Now, the real magic begins. Sit down. We're doing makeup step by step. She started with foundation, her hands gentle as she blended it across his skin, explaining each motion. See, you want to match your natural tone and build from there. No rushing. Langston watched in the handheld mirror she provided, absorbing her lessons on blending and shading. Then came the contouring, where she taught him how to sculpt his cheekbones and jawline with subtle powders. Angle the brush like this. It's all about creating dimension without overdoing it. As the transformation progressed, Mia rummaged through her bag for the finishing touch. Wigs are key for the full effect, she said, pulling out an auburn one with soft curls that cascaded just past the shoulders. This auburn shade will bring out the warmth in your eyes. Let's try it on. She adjusted it carefully, securing it so it looked natural, the curls framing his face softly. Finally, she stepped back, guiding him to the full-length mirror in the hallway. Rosalina gazed back, her reflection a vision in the crimson dress, the cap sleeves accentuating her shoulders gracefully. The makeup was flawless, eyes defined with liner, lips a subtle rose, cheeks contoured to perfection. The auburn curls fell in gentle waves, completing the image of the woman she'd always felt inside. Tears welled up in her eyes, blurring the sight for a moment before she blinked them away. This is me, she whispered, her voice catching. Rosalina. Thank you, Mia. Mia hugged her tightly, her own eyes misty. You look incredible. Welcome to the world, Rosalina. From that moment, there was no turning back. Rosalina felt a profound shift, as if the clothes and makeup had unlocked a door she could never close again. She moved through the apartment with a new grace, the dress swishing around her legs as she practiced walking in the low heels Mia had brought. "We should go out," Mia suggested, her grin infectious. "Nothing big, just a walk in the park, test the waters." Rosalina hesitated, her heart pounding, but the pull was too strong. She nodded, and they stepped out into the evening air, the city buzzing around them. The park was nearby, a green oasis amid the urban sprawl, with paths winding under blooming trees. As they strolled, Rosalina felt eyes on her, not suspicious, but appreciative. A passerby smiled, and she returned it tentatively, her auburn curls bouncing with each step. "That was exhilarating," she admitted as they sat on a bench, watching joggers and families pass by. "I didn't think I'd feel this free." Mia squeezed her hand. "This is just the beginning. Tomorrow we can shop for more outfits that are all yours. Build your wardrobe." The next day dawned bright, and Rosalina woke with a sense of purpose. She carefully reapplied her makeup using the techniques Mia had taught, the foundation smoothing over her skin like a second layer of confidence. The crimson dress still felt perfect, but Mia arrived with ideas for expansion. "Let's hit the mall," she said. "We'll find pieces that scream Rosalina." At the mall, the crowds were a whirlwind, but Rosalina navigated them with growing assurance. In a boutique, she tried on a floral blouse and skirt combo, the fabrics light and flowing. The mirror reflected her auburn hair glowing under the store lights, and she twirled, delighted. "This feels right," she told Mia, who nodded enthusiastically. They spent hours browsing, accumulating bags of blouses, skirts, and accessories. Rosalina learned to appreciate the nuances of fit, how a belt could cinch a waist, or how earrings could draw attention to her face. By the time they returned to the apartment, her closet was transforming, filled with feminine attire that she knew she'd never abandon. As days turned into weeks, Rosalina integrated her new self into daily life. She updated her online profiles subtly, sharing photos that captured her in casual outfits, always with that auburn wig styled just so. Friends from work noticed the change when she confided in a few close ones, their support a warm embrace. One colleague, Sarah, invited her to a book club meeting. "Come as you are," Sarah said, and Rosalina did, in a simple sundress that fluttered in the breeze. The book club was held in a cozy cafe, the group discussing a novel about self-discovery. Rosalina contributed thoughtfully, her voice steady as she shared insights drawn from her own journey. The women around her listened, their nods encouraging. Afterward, as they lingered over coffee, one member pulled her aside. "Your perspective is so fresh. We'd love to have you back." Emboldened, Rosalina explored more social avenues. She joined a local art class, where she painted under the guidance of an instructor who praised her use of color.
"That auburn hair of yours inspires me,"
the instructor joked, and Rosalina laughed, feeling seen. But challenges arose too. One evening, as she walked home from the class in a knee-length dress with a subtle pattern, a stranger made a passing comment that stung.
"Nice costume,"
he muttered. Rosalina's steps faltered, but she held her head high, the auburn curls framing her determined expression. Mia, when told later, rallied her. "Ignore the noise. You're living your truth." To build resilience, they planned a girls' night out. Rosalina chose an elegant top and pants ensemble, the auburn hair styled in loose waves. At the restaurant, they toasted to new beginnings, laughter filling the air. A waiter complimented her outfit, and she blushed, the interaction a small victory. As months passed, Rosalina's confidence blossomed. She volunteered at a community center, helping with events in flowing skirts and blouses that allowed her to move freely. There, she met Elena, another volunteer, with a kind smile. "Your energy is contagious," Elena said during a break, and they bonded over shared stories of personal growth. One project involved organizing a charity fair, where Rosalina manned a booth in a vibrant maxi dress, her auburn curls tied back with a ribbon. Families approached, and she engaged them with ease, handing out flyers and chatting about the cause. A young woman lingered, asking for advice on embracing change. Rosalina shared gently, her words drawing from her transformation, inspiring without revealing too much. Work life evolved too. Rosalina transitioned her professional wardrobe to feminine business attire, tailored blouses and slacks that maintained her poise. Her boss, after a private conversation, supported the change, updating records accordingly. Meetings became opportunities to shine, her insights delivered with a newfound assertiveness. Evenings often found her experimenting with hairstyles for the auburn wig, trying updos or braids that Mia demonstrated. "You're a natural," Mia would say, and they'd end up in fits of giggles over minor mishaps. Travel became a new adventure. Mia suggested a weekend trip to a nearby coastal town, and Rosalina packed sundresses and swimsuit covers, ensuring every outfit affirmed her identity. On the beach, she walked along the shore in a light cover-up, the waves lapping at her feet, auburn curls tousled by the sea breeze. Strangers nodded hello, and she felt at peace, the sun warming her skin. During the trip, they visited a local market where artisans sold handmade jewelry. Rosalina selected a necklace with a pendant that matched the crimson of her first dress, a symbol of her journey.
"This is for Rosalina,"
she murmured, fastening it around her neck. Back home, she delved into hobbies that aligned with her evolving self. Cooking classes saw her in aprons over casual dresses, learning to bake pastries with a group of enthusiastic amateurs. The instructor paired her with a partner named Jordan, who complimented her precision.
"You have an eye for detail,"
Jordan said, and their conversations flowed into discussions about life's unexpected paths. Friendships deepened. A picnic with old college acquaintances turned into a supportive gathering when Rosalina shared her story. They listened, asked thoughtful questions, and embraced her fully. "We're here for you," one said, and the afternoon stretched into evening under the stars. Yet, introspection came in quiet moments. Alone in her apartment, Rosalina would stand before the mirror, adjusting the auburn curls, reflecting on how far she'd come. The crimson dress hung in her closet as a reminder, worn occasionally for special occasions. One such occasion was a theater outing with Mia. Dressed in an elegant gown that echoed the A-line style, Rosalina felt like a star as they watched a play about identity and change. The story resonated, tears pricking her eyes during the climax. Post-show, they wandered the city streets, stopping at a cafe for dessert. "What's next for Rosalina?" Mia asked. Rosalina smiled, her auburn hair catching the light. "More of this. All of it." As seasons changed, Rosalina embraced outdoor activities. Hiking in comfortable leggings and tunics, she conquered trails with Mia, the fresh air invigorating. At the summit, she posed for photos, the auburn curls windswept, capturing moments of triumph. Community involvement grew. She joined a support group for those exploring gender expression, sharing experiences in a safe space. The facilitator encouraged her to lead a session, and she did, in a simple blouse and skirt, her words helping others find their paths. Romantic interests flickered on the horizon. At a coffee shop, she met Alex, a kind-eyed artist who struck up a conversation about her necklace.
"It suits you,"
he said, and they exchanged numbers. Their first date was a walk in the park, Rosalina in a flowing dress, auburn hair styled neatly. They talked for hours, sharing dreams and laughs, but not all was smooth. A family gathering loomed, and Rosalina prepared carefully, choosing an outfit that blended comfort and style, a meaty dress with subtle patterns. Her parents, informed via a heartfelt letter, welcomed her with open arms, though questions arose. "We're learning with you," her mother said, hugging her tightly. Siblings adapted too, one brother offering protective advice, another sharing fashion tips from his wife. The reunion strengthened bonds, Rosalina's auburn curls a constant in family photos. Professional growth accelerated. A promotion came, recognizing her innovative ideas. In meetings, she presented confidently, her feminine attire a seamless part of her presence. Leisure time included spa days with Mia, where they relaxed in robes, discussing future plans. "Maybe a road trip," Mia suggested, and Rosalina agreed, envisioning new horizons. One evening, as she prepared for bed in a soft nightgown, the phone rang. It was Alex, inviting her to an art exhibit. Excitement bubbled as she accepted, already planning her outfit. A chic ensemble with the auburn wig in elegant waves. The exhibit was mesmerizing, paintings swirling with color that mirrored her inner world. Alex held her hand, a gentle connection forming. As they left, rain began to fall, and they dashed to a nearby shelter, laughing. But in the midst of this joy, a shadow emerged. An old acquaintance from her past life contacted her online, questioning the change with thinly veiled skepticism.
"Is this permanent?"
the message read. Rosalina typed back firmly, affirming her truth, but the exchange left her unsettled. That night, she confided in Mia over tea, the steam rising as they sat in her living room. "We'll face it together," Mia assured. The next day brought a surprise opportunity, a speaking engagement at a local conference on personal empowerment. Rosalina prepared meticulously, selecting a professional dress that highlighted her poise. On stage, her auburn curls framed her face as she spoke, her story inspiring the audience. Applause echoed, validating her path. Afterward, attendees approached, sharing their own tales. One woman, teary-eyed, thanked her. "You gave me hope." As life wove onward, Rosalina explored writing, journaling her experiences in a notebook, the words flowing like the curls of her auburn hair. Mia encouraged her to submit pieces to blogs, and soon her essays on self-acceptance gained traction. A publisher reached out, interested in a book. Excitement mixed with nerves as she drafted chapters, always in her feminine attire, the crimson dress occasionally worn for inspiration. Friendships expanded to include a knitting circle where she crafted scarves in soft yarns, the group bonding over patterns and stories.
"Your style is impeccable,"
a member complimented, eyeing her outfit. Holidays arrived, and Rosalina hosted a gathering, decorating her apartment with lights and garlands. Guests arrived, admiring her in a festive dress, auburn hair adorned with a clip. Laughter filled the space, toasts raised to new chapters. Yet, amid the cheer, a mysterious letter arrived, unsigned, hinting at secrets from her past. Some things can't be hidden forever, it read. Rosalina's hand trembled as she read it, wondering who could have sent it and what it might mean for her carefully built life. The next morning she discussed it with Mia, the sun rising on a day full of uncertainty. As they pondered the implications, a knock at the door interrupted them. Hope you enjoyed the story so far. The rest will be available on Patreon.